I'm now going to paint some texture on this, and what this allows us to do is to give it a grass texture, and it allows us to give it a grass texture, a sand texture, or rocky texture. So by clicking on Edit Terrain Layers, we're going to click Create Layer, and then I want to search for the different types of textures that I might have. And I have given you guys a few different textures that you can use for this project. So this first one I added in is kind of like a rocky, grassy one. And again, I have my paintbrushes, I have the brush size, and I have the opacity. But the first one you select automatically goes in on top of your terrain. So if you want other textures, you're going to have to paint those in. So clicking Edit Terrain Layer, we're going to create layer. And now I'm going to look for another type of texture. This one will be a sand texture. I'm going to add another layer, and we'll add in a rocky layer. So now to show you what it looks like to paint in these different textures, they have to be selected. So here I'm clicking on the sand, and I've got my brush size and I've got my opacity. So as I click, you can start to see how the sand texture is going in there. If I click on the rocky, you can see how it starts to paint that. So I can zoom out here and start to paint the different textures that I want on my ground. And this will take you a little while to do. And you can do larger areas faster or slower. And you want to have at least 4 different types of textures for your ground. Again, I'm going to go to a top view. And now I'm going to add a grass layer. And we'll start painting in our texture. You can see the difference between the colors. And I'm doing this with a big brush to start with, and I can go back in and fine tune later on.